Hey guys, it is Crystal, Texas mom blogger from crystaluncup.com, and today we're going to talk all about Elf on the Shelf. Now let me just tell you, I have been doing Elf on the Shelf with my boys since 2011. So we are going on our 7th year of Elf on the Shelf ideas. We have over 200 of them over on the website. But in the years that I've been doing this, I get lots of questions from readers all year long where they're asking questions about Elf on the Shelf. How do I get started? What do I do? How does it work? So what I decided to do for you guys today is put together a video of the quick questions that I get every single year from readers who are wanting to know things like, how does this work? So I've got all my questions right here, and I'm going to give you some of my best tips and best ideas as well. Okay, so the number one question that I get is, how does Elf on the Shelf work? And what are the Elf on the Shelf rules? So personally, we have 3 Elf on the Shelves, okay? We started the very first year with just one. When I bought it in a box set just like this. And when you go to the store to buy the box set, you're gonna get your doll in there, the Elf on the Shelf doll, and you're also going to get a book. It all fits right in here in this box. Let me open this up for you. There you go. So you'll see the book's over here and the elf is over here. Now, one thing that you'll notice is in the top corner of your box, it tells you the color of your elf and it tells you if it's a boy or a girl. So yes, you can get boy or girl elves. You can get them in different skin tones as well. So the very first elf that we ever got was this boy elf over here. And then over the years, we have gotten another boy elf, and then we also have a girl elf that I don't have out just yet. So when you get your Elf on the Shelf kit, you're going to get that book with that. And the book tells the story about the tradition of Elf on the Shelf. And so it tells the story about how Santa brings the elf to your house at the holiday time, and he brings it so that he can report back to Santa about your behavior and how, if you're being good or if you're being bad, if you're gonna be on the naughty list or the good list. And it just encourages the kids to behave and be good, and that every day he flies back to the North Pole, and then the next day you will find him in a new place in your house. So it goes through the whole story. It tells you that you should name him, and it tells you, you can talk to the elf, you just don't want to touch the elf. It tells you things like that. Now, you can decide for yourself how you want the rules at your house to go. So I can tell you at our house, we have a rule. One of the rules is that parents can touch the elf, because if the elf falls over, so say the elf has arranged itself up at the top of your Christmas tree, for example, and the elf falls, all the kids in your house are gonna freak out. The elf has fallen, now he's gonna lose his magic. So if you touch him, he loses his magic, right? So we had a rule at our house that mom or dad could always touch the elf anytime we needed to, and that the elf wouldn't lose his magic. But maybe the rules will be different at your house. Maybe you don't care if your little ones touch the elf. It's totally up to you. You make your own rules. The very first time that we did Elf on the Shelf, we read the story together. We don't read the story again each year just because my kids know the story, but maybe that's a tradition that you want, where every single year, maybe that's what he does when he comes the first time, is he brings the book back each year and you sit down and you read it together. One of the very first things that we did when we got our elf was read the story the first night that he arrived. We read the story, or the first morning, and then we chose a name for him. So that's another activity that you can do with your kids for your Elf on the Shelf, okay? So make your own rules. That's the gist of how it works. And then every day, every morning when the kids wake up, the elf is gonna be in a new place in your house. Or maybe he'll be in a new place outside of your house. Our elf has been outside in a tree. Our elf has been inside. Our elf has been stuck to the front door. Our elf has gone, one morning our kids couldn't find the elf anywhere in the house, and it's because he was outside in the car waiting to go to the mall because we were going to get pictures with Santa. There's all kinds of ideas that you can do with your Elf on the Shelf. Okay, so the next question that my readers always send is, how should Elf on the Shelf arrive? So I have an entire list over at crystalandcump.com of different arrival ideas. But for us, our elf, every single year he comes with a letter. And so that has been a really, really fun tradition at our house. And I actually have a printable letter that you can go over and print. Just search when you get to crystalandcump.com for Elf on the Shelf welcome letter. I have a couple of different ones that you can choose from. They have little poems with them that tell you, it's just a fun little rhymey, singy song poem that says, I'm back, I'm ready for a new year, I'm ready to report your behavior to Santa, and it's super fun. And then there's another one that you can use subsequent years, or switch them up, use whichever one you want to use. Or you can make your own letter. My letters have a place for you to put your kid's name, and then to also fill in whatever you named your elf on the shelf. So at the bottom you can sign it with your elf's name at the bottom. But I always, every single year, I welcome him back. He arrives with a letter. So that's a great idea for that. The next question that I get a lot is, when do you start your Elf on the Shelf? So the book tells you that it starts around the holiday time, but for us, we start Black Friday. That seems to be consistently when we start every single year, because we finish our Thanksgiving meal. A lot of families have a tradition of going and doing Black Friday shopping, and then the next day is kind of everybody's in Christmas mode. Thanksgiving is over, it's time for Christmas, and that is traditionally at our house when Elf on the Shelf arrives. Now, some people just like to do 30 days of Elf on the Shelf, so you'll count backwards from Christmas and do 30 consistent days. Some people like to start December 1st. It's completely up to you. That is a rule that you get to make for yourself, but for us, we like to start Black Friday. Now, if you want help with planning, go to crystalandcump.com and search in the search bar for Elf on the Shelf calendar. I have a calendar that you can print out that is editable, where you can go in and type in the different things so that mom can map out what Elf on the Shelf season is going to look like this year. And then I also have one that is blank that you can just hand fill in with your handwriting or what have you. So that's a great way to plan as well. And that will also let you know when you want to start the Elf on the Shelf each year at your house. Okay, the next question that I get is Elf on the Shelf scary or creepy? So to me, it's not. This is a question that really only you can answer. If your kids are scared easily by certain things, this may be something that your kids find a little scary. Is Elf on the Shelf creepy? That's really, again, subjective and is going to depend on your family and how, I think it also depends on how you present that to your kids. So if your kids are freaked out by the fact that Elf is watching them and that is something that you find to be creepy, don't focus on that. This doesn't have to be something that is a negative association whatsoever. Honestly, we are at the place, because my kids are older, where the fun is more about where it's the fun each day in finding where Elf is in the house or where he is hiding at. So for the littler kids, we've kind of gotten away from he's reporting your behavior or what have you, but that's just because we've been doing this for so long. So this can certainly evolve for your family. Something else to think about is, if you are going to focus on the part that Elf is watching your behavior and reporting back to Santa, if you go to crystalandcump.com and search for behavior report, Elf on the Shelf behavior reports, we have two different reports, one that reports good behavior and one that reports bad behavior. So if you see, if your child has gotten in trouble for something and you want to let them know that Elf saw that next day, that can be what Elf on the Shelf brings, is a behavior report that says, I'm so sorry, Johnny, you have been naughty, and here is your naughty report, and here is what Elf saw, and then Elf signs it. Or also acknowledge the good behavior. So if your child came home and they just got a citizenship acknowledgement at school, or they cleaned their room without asking, that can be something that you give them a reward report for. So I have those reports over on my site as well. All right, the next question that I get is Elf on the Shelf a bad idea? Personally, it is something that my family, we are on our 7th year. We look forward to this every single year. For us, it's not a bad idea. Now, some people don't like to focus on, they feel like it's a bad idea because there's the magical aspect, or Christmas is about Jesus and Christmas is not about elves and magic and Santa. So that's your choice. That is something that you're going to need to decide. You go in the direction that you want to go with it. So obviously at our house, Jesus is the reason for the season. So that my children know Christmas is about Jesus. But this is a fun adventure that we do every day where we hide the elf and the kids find it. They wake up each morning excited for the new place. And as my older kids have gotten older, my twins are now 12. So when we first started this, they were little bitty. Now they're 12. They know the truth, and they enjoy moving him around. So they enjoy watching their littler siblings look. So it's up to you. Is Elf on the Shelf a bad idea? That's a subjective question that you're going to have to decide if that's right or wrong for your family. And if it's something you really want to do, eliminate the pieces like magic or anything that is something that you don't want to encourage in your home. That's up to you. All right, so what are Elf on the Shelf names? This is a question that I get a ton, and if you go to crystalandcup.com, I have 80 girl names and 80 boy names that are super cute, super awesome. It's the names that I reached out to my readers and said, tell me what you've named yours. Our very first Elf on the Shelf, his name is Dolphin. One of my twins that are now 12 named him when he was little bitty. That was the name of his fish, and that was also the name of our elf. And then when we got the boy and girl elf, we named them Jack and Diane. So Diane is the girl, Jack is the boy, and that was just a fun name for us because, there's that song, Jack and Diane, and I thought it would be cute for them to be a little married couple. And with them, I like to do like little date night ideas. I'll take some of my kids' toys that they have and incorporate them into the scene so that, it's like a fun little date night, and that's what the kids wake up to the next day. That's what Elf on the Shelf was up to. Now, the thing is, we have 3 elves, so we have to remember every single night that 3 elves, need to be doing what they need to be doing. So, once you have more elves, just keep that in mind, that that's more work for you. But it certainly can be lots of fun. So if you'll go to crystalandcup.com, look up Elf on the Shelf names. We have a ton, and we're constantly working on more, coming up with cute and different creative names for you to name your elf. All right, next question. Can Elf on the Shelf wear Barbie clothes? Yes. That is a great idea, actually. Go into your kids' toys. Find their G.I. Joes, find their Barbies, find their cars, find their little Disney toys. Use the things you have on hand to incorporate a fun Elf on the Shelf idea or Elf on the Shelf scene. So yes, they can wear Barbie clothes, but also, of course, they have an entire line of clothes and accessories. And if you go to crystalandcup.com, search for Elf on the Shelf clothes or Elf on the Shelf accessories. I have a ton of clickable links that you can go to where you can buy. For the girl, they have different baking outfits. They have like an apron and a bowl. It comes with a little batter bowl. There's the skirts with the little winter boots. I've got one that's like a leotard that comes with ice skates. I have matching sweaters. So for Jack and Diane, I actually have matching sweaters for them. You can find this stuff at Target. But you can also, I just like to order it on Amazon. I have a raincoat. I have a Dallas Cowboy jersey, or one that looks kind of like a Cowboys jersey. There's all kinds of fun things. And honestly, yes, you can use Barbie clothes. You can use G.I. Joe clothes. You can also make your own clothes. Just use what you have on hand to make it super fun, but yes. And that can be the idea of the day. So when Elf moved, he moved to a new place in the house, but he's wearing a cute new outfit. I have one that's like a little hoodie that says Santa Elf or something on the front. And my kids, it's fun when they find Elf in a new spot, but he's also wearing something different. That's super fun to them. So yes, they can wear clothes and they can wear Barbie clothes. All right, can Elf on the Shelf write notes? Yes. Since day one, Elf on the Shelf has come to my house with notes. That is a big thing, and that's an easy idea. So if you're like, oh my goodness, Elf on the Shelf forgot to move, write a quick fun note, get him moved, leave the note with him, and that's the special treat for your kids that day. So it can be that behavior or reward note where you're acknowledging their good behavior or you're acknowledging something that needs improvement on their behavior, or it can just be a handwritten note. Elf has left things for my kids with notes, like he's come with breakfast and left a note. So maybe donuts, or maybe mom gets up early and makes breakfast and Elf leaves that. Elf has brought different Christmas movies that we can watch and different Christmas activities. And he'll leave a note with that says, enjoy watching The Grinch or what have you. So those are things that you can think about too. But one thing I like to do is I like to look in the dollar spot at Target, because this time of year they always have some really great things. And this year I found this was $3, and I thought this was perfect. This is a little mailbox that has a place that says Santa here, but you could mark through that and handwrite Elf, like Elf took over Santa's mailbox. It has a place for you to leave mail in here, and then in the back it has a place for the notes to be retrieved. The idea for this box is to leave notes for Santa. However, you could let them use these cards to leave notes to the elf, or for Elf to leave notes to them. Remember, notes can work either way. Elf is leaving them notes, or they're leaving notes for Elf. I've had it where my kids all wrote letters to Santa, and you know how they got to Santa? Elf took them. So we left them out for Elf, and he took them overnight to Santa. So there's lots of ways that you can work in fun notes and letters to a Santa or to Elf or from Elf, and use something like one of these cute little mailboxes. This was $3 in the dollar spot at Target. Drop the note in here, it can be retrieved from back here, or you can also do what we did back in the 80s as kids, take a shoebox and let the kids decorate it, and let that be one of their activities, to have a mailbox for Elf on the Shelf, and then Elf can leave notes, and they can leave notes for Elf as well, and just use that as their little mailbox. So, notes are a great thing to incorporate with Elf on the Shelf. We love doing that. All right, can Elf be touched by parents? That's a big question that I get. That's up to you. You make that rule. At our house, to ease the anxiety of, Elf falling or whatever, because it's gonna happen. Elf falls from wherever, he needs to be touched. That's gonna be something, he's gonna have to be picked up. So that's gonna be something that you're gonna have to address. It's up to you, but you need to decide that if it's okay for Elf on the Shelf to be touched by parents. So the other thing I encourage is just go look for fun ideas. This is all stuff from the dollar spot at Target. These are fun little things you could utilize. You could even utilize Elf on the Shelf for your Advent, and every day he could bring a little trinket or a little piece of chocolate or a dollar toy or something like that for your kids. He could bring a new book for your kids if you want to do an everyday different storybook, if you have littler kids. Think of fun things that you could do. This was something from the dollar spot at Target. This little reindeer barn was something that's super cute. These are ways to incorporate inexpensive ideas and ways to just make it fun for your Elf on the Shelf. Use what you have on hand. Use your Christmas tree. Maybe if you're a mom who likes for your kids to have little Christmas trees in their bedroom, I know a lot of parents who like to do that at Christmas time, maybe Elf brings each year a little ornament for their Christmas tree that's in their bedroom. Or maybe he brings them the first year that they're going to have a Christmas tree in their bedroom, he brings them a Christmas tree with some decorations. Think outside the box. Think of ways that you can make this fun and exciting and make memories with it. That's really what it's all about. My twins are 12. Our oldest at home is 17. They still talk about when they were little 7 years ago and what it was like getting our different Elf on the Shelf stuff and the memories that they've made with that. So I'm sure we'll have more questions. If you have more questions, leave them below in the comments and we can do another FAQ video for you. I love this time of year. We are all about Elf on the Shelf, and I'm super, super excited for you to have a fun Elf on the Shelf year this year with your kids. All right, guys, leave any of your comments below and we will definitely come back and answer them. Have a great Elf on the Shelf season. Bye. Maybe the kitchen, the bathroom, or den is where you will find me your special elf friend. I can hide on a plant, a shelf, or a frame. Where will I be? Let's make it a game.
This is rhyming.
I know, it is rhyming. There's only one rule that you have to follow, so I will come